For today's lesson, we will be discussing about solving word problems related with angle of depression. So before that, let's recall what is the angle of depression. Again, this is the angle formed by the imaginary line of sight and the horizontal line, wherein the object is below the observer. So let's say we have this problem. A boat is 450 meters away from the lighthouse. If the angle of depression from the lighthouse to the boat is 30 degrees, what is the height of the lighthouse? So we have a boat which is 450 meters away from the lighthouse. We also have the angle of depression which is 30 degrees. So let's illustrate the problem first. Let's draw here a lighthouse. So let's say that this is a lighthouse, and then there is a boat here which is 450 meters away from the lighthouse. So 450 meters. We also know that the angle of depression from the lighthouse, so let's draw a horizontal line here again, to the boat. So let's write the angle going down to the boat is 30 degrees. Okay. Now the question is, what is the height of the lighthouse? So let's write here x. So now we have to find a way on how are we going to solve for the value of x, given the angle of depression of 30 degrees and also the distance of the lighthouse to the boat, which is 450 meters. Now from the previous problem, we identified right triangle. So we can also do it here. So if you will notice, this is a 90-degree angle. Now, since the angle is here, the given angle is here 30 degrees, which is on another right triangle. So let's say that this is also a right triangle. So we need to find a way how are we going to get an angle inside this other triangle here. So we can simply just subtract 90 and 30 so that we can get this angle right here, which is 60 degrees, since this side right here is also a 90-degree angle. So if this one is 60 degrees, therefore the other angle is also 30 degrees here. So with that, we can already get the missing side, which is x. Because we cannot solve for x if we will be just using this angle right here, this 30 degrees, because this side belongs to the other triangle. So you have to identify the angles inside the second triangle here. So it's either you use 60 degrees or the 30 degrees, so it's up to you. If you want to use the 30 degrees, then you have to find the relationship of the given sides to 30 degrees. Same as if you will use the 60 degrees here. So let's use the 30 degrees. So the given 450 meters is the adjacent side, and then the missing side, which is x, is the opposite side. So since we have the adjacent, we have the opposite, that means we can use the tangent. So let's use tangent of 30 degrees. So it's equal again to opposite over adjacent. So let's substitute the values. Square root of 3 over 3 equals x over 450. And then just have to simplify. So cross multiply. So 450 times square root of 3 equal to 3x. Then divide both sides by 3. This will be cancelled. So we have 100 So we have 150 square root of 3, which is now the value of x. So our answer here, height of lighthouse now is height of lighthouse. (150 square root of 3). Then write the unit, which is meters. So this is our final answer. So next problem, a boy standing on a tower observes a ball on the ground at an angle of depression of 30 degrees. The ball is located 60 meters from the foot of the tower. How tall is the tower? So we have a boy standing on a tower. There's the angle of depression that is 30 degrees. Then you have to identify the height of the tower. So let's draw a tower here. And let's say the boy is right here. There. There. And then there is a ball on the ground. So which is 60 meters from the foot of the tower. And then there is now the angle of depression. So let's draw a horizontal line. And then a line going to the ball, which is 30 degrees. Now we have to find how tall is the tower. So this is the one that we're looking. So let's write that as x. So we now have again a right triangle. So like what we did with the first example, since the given angle is here on this triangle, we have to identify at least one measurement of the angle on the second triangle so that we can find the relationship of the x, which is the one that is missing here, and also the 60 meters. So like what we did on the first one, we can subtract 90 and 30 to get this angle right here. So let's say, so that will be equal to 60 degrees. Since again, this one is also a 90-degree angle. So let's try to use this angle here. So 60 degrees. Now, we have to find the relationship of the sides to this given angle. So x here is the adjacent side, and then 60 meters is now the opposite sides. So still that involves opposite and adjacent. So we can still use the tangent. But this time, it's tangent of 60 degrees. Now, let's substitute the value. So, tangent of 60 degrees is square root of 3. Then, the opposite side is 60 meters. Then, the adjacent side is x. So, we can cross-multiply or multiply both sides by x. So, we have x square root of 3 equal to 60. Then since we need to solve for x, divide both sides by square root of 3. This will be cancelled. So we have x equals 60 over square root of 3. Then we have to rationalize. So multiply by square root of 3 over square root of 3. So we now have 60 times square root of 3 over 3. We can still simplify this. 60 divided by 3, we have 20. So 20 square root of 3 is our answer. So therefore, the height of the tower is 20 square root of 3. Then use the units, meters. So our last example, a bird sits on top of a lamppost. The angle of depression from the bird to the feet of an observer standing away from the lamppost is 60 degrees. The distance of the bird from the observer is 25 meters. How tall is the lamppost? So there is a bird that sits on top of a lamppost. There is an angle of depression that is 60 degrees. And the distance of the bird from the observer is 25 meters. So let's draw first. We have here a lamppost. And then there is a bird here on top. Okay. And then there is an observer. So let's draw a person right there, which is 25 meters away from the bird or the lamppost. So this one is 25 meters. Now the angle of depression from the bird. So let's draw here a horizontal line to the feet of the observer is 60 degrees. So let's draw going to the feet of the observer. There. This one is 60 degrees. Now we have to find how tall is the lamppost. So this one. So we now have again a right triangle here. So since this is angle of depression, that means the angle given is on the other triangle, which is not related now with the two given sides. So what we will do is we have to find an angle inside our triangle. So we know that this is also 90 degrees. So 90 minus 60, this angle is 30 degrees. Now let's find the relationship of the given sides to 30 degrees. So x, or the lamppost now, is the adjacent side, and then the 25 meters or the distance of the observer to the lamppost is the opposite sides. So again, we're using the opposite side and then the adjacent side. So we will use tangent. So let's use tangent of 30 degrees. So it's opposite over adjacent side. So tangent of 30 degrees is again square root of 3 over 3 equal to, then the opposite side of 30 degrees, so that is 25 over the adjacent side, and that is x. So let's do cross multiplication. So x over or times square root of 3 equal to 3 times 25. So this is x square root of 3 equal to, then 3 times 25 is 75. Now to get x, divide both sides by square root of 3. So we divide both sides by square root of 3. This will be cancelled. So we have x equals 75 over square root of 3. Now since there is a radical sign on the denominator, we have to rationalize to remove that. So multiply the numerator and the denominator by square root of 3. So we have x equals 75 times square root of 3 all over 3, which we can still simplify to 25 square root of 3. So the x now is equal to 25 square root of 3. So we can say that the lamppost is 25 square root of 3, then let's use meters. So that's it for today. I hope you learned something about solving problems involving angle of depression. And see you next time.